Hello! In my last video, I went through some of my old writing and pointed out things I would do differently now. Let's do it again, but this time with art. I found a picture I did last year using a different method than normal. When I design a character, I enjoy doing it on paper first. I feel more creative on paper than digital for some reason. But then after I get the design down, I put it on the computer and normally I draw over it to get the line art. That time I decided to try using the layer modes to retain the original drawing, and I did the coloring underneath that. Well, I like the vibe. The time that's passed since then and my growing skill level has helped me see things that definitely need to change. I still don't have the skill to do this picture justice, but here I'm just going to focus on some of the things that really pop out to me when I first look at it. You can see here where I was trying to edit it in the original drawing. I really wanted to use the LIQUIFY tool, but I needed to form a single layer minus the green background, and it just wasn't working right because of how the layer blending modes were working. So I exported all but the backgrounds into a PNG file, and I made it into a new project. The first thing I did was bring in that eye. It was drifting off the side of her face. Bless that LIQUIFY tool. Then I redrew her nose. That nose style that was there at first looks better as a sketch than a more finished piece, at least in my art style. And after that, I experimented with colors to find the right one to match the shading I'd done previously. I couldn't just use the eyedropper tool because I wanted to use the multiply layer mode, which has the effect of darkening the color but also kind of preserving what's underneath. I think I ended up pretty close. It's cooler than I usually use these days for shading, but at least it's all cohesive. Then I did a touch of blush on her cheeks, and then I tried to do something with those lips. At first I was like, ooh, this is nice. And then it started to look like that time I got an allergic reaction to a medication, and my lips were so swollen.
I had to spend the next 6 weeks in lip rehab with this kid named Oscar who got stung by a bee right on the lip, and we couldn't even talk to each other until the 5th week because both our lips were so swollen. And when he did start speaking, he just spoke Polish, and I only know like 3 words in Polish, except now I know 4 because Oscar taught me the word for lip. Usta!
If you took any part of that after the medication seriously, you need to go watch some VeggieTales. After that, I kept playing around a little more with the lighting and with the background. I loved the green background, but I couldn't just copy it over and have it fit right because of layer modes and whatnot, so I had to go around manually erasing it. Then I touched up her eyes some. Normally I make eyes bigger and shinier, but on paper I tend to go for more realism, so I wanted to preserve that here. Plus, even though it's less shiny, I do like having the almost painted-ish flatter look. So I didn't do much other than clarifying some colors and shapes and making some tiny additional highlights. So that's the improvement a year can make. I still have a lot to learn about clothing folds and shading and shoulder positions, but I'm happy that I've learned to recognize issues with the shape and position of the facial features a bit better. I hope this was fun to watch. Tune in next time to hear Rachel say,
Have I ever told you how I feel about my nose? Oh, look at the time.